So my presentation is about the toolkit in general, as a tool to be used for the purpose of the project, Sentry Toolkit. So, hold on a second. Right. So, this is about the toolkit, and some people may think, okay, another toolkit, another manual. Is there anything different? Is there anything that the others do not have? So I believe so. I think many of these manuals that are available online and so on, and most of them are, or many of them are about to develop activities, to implement programs for education through sport, so through basketball, through football, or any other one. But at least in my case, I haven't seen, and I have really looked deep into the topic, tried to find something similar, but I didn't find it. Something that brings the issue of discrimination in the sport context and how to report and monitor cases specifically. So I think in that case, this toolkit was necessary because it's innovative and it's about a topic that is needed in society in nowadays. So I will start saying that this Sentry Toolkit at least has different things, brings innovation to the field of sport for development. So the phenomenon of migration in this toolkit is treated in general in the project from different perspectives: gender, race, cultural, sexual, by being migrant, social, religion, and so on. So I mean, it has a very broad perspective of it, which I think enriches the toolkit itself. So the goals of the manual. I will start saying, basically going directly to the main destinataries of the manual, that is empowering coaches, monitors, to identify aggressions in the context of sport. So the main purpose of the direct goal of this toolkit is to empowering those main destinataries, which are the actors and the stakeholders around the sport activity, and a sport based on social inclusion, right? Also, this manual helps to empower even the organizations to reduce discrimination. Empowers by bringing this tool, so they get to know how to identify a discrimination case, how to act, and so on. But also from a very interesting perspective, that is promoting the partnerships, how to develop a partnership, enhancing the importance of promoting partnerships, and getting to know ultimately that an organization alone by its own cannot do almost anything. So about the importance of partnerships. And finally, one of the goals as well is support the victims of discrimination. First and most important, to understand how do they feel in that case, creating this sense of empathy, communication, and let's say solidarity with these victims. So support the victims is also very important. I think it's even one of the most important things, and this could be considered the three main goals of this toolkit, right? The main destinataries, I mean, can be used basically by anyone, I would say. I think it's anyone who is sensitized and aware about the importance to fight discrimination, who has this type of sensitivity. But because we are working in a sport context, let's say the main destinataries are educators, sport coaches, youth monitors, social workers, those who are interacting with the people, with the youth, with the children, with the society in general in the field of sport. So we consider this the main destinataries. But why not? Can be used by anyone. I think every person should have the responsibility of support a victim of discrimination, to try to get to know and to assess and identify a case of discrimination, how to act beyond the identification. So these are the main destinataries, but definitely can be used by anyone who has this type of sensitivity, right? So what is expected from a people or an organization that get introduced to the Sentry Toolkit? Can be a person who knows his or her community. I mean, this slide is about the benefits and what do we expect from a person who get involved in the Sentry concept by using the toolkit. So get to know a person who knows his community is normally someone who is with a kind of awareness of this. When I'm saying get to know, really, is able to recognize discrimination. This could be the result of using the toolkit. Create a series of relationships with different stakeholders, develop competences like empathy, listening, communication, and networking. Empathy and listening, especially when dealing and treating with the target group, with the victims of discrimination. And finally, we expect, or should be ideal that after using the toolkit, the people, organizations will be able to create a local network teaching discrimination in sport. All right, denouncing discrimination acts or evaluating the methodology and give advice to improve. For sure, through this platform, ideally, for sure it's not perfect. So there is an open field to improvements. So anyone who uses the toolkit and want to, to comment to any of the organizations about how was the result of using it and want to comment something about potential improvements, for sure is welcome. The toolkit itself is a mix of facts, and for example, those that has been introduced by Marco previously, facts about discrimination in Europe, how is the situation, how is the context in general. Action, this is very important because this manual gives also the possibility very clearly how to denounce the case from the beginning till the end, right? You are not going to be alone. To which organizations in general you can get refer your case and get support and so on. So it has a pathway on how to denounce from the beginning till the end with a template, with examples, very clear. And finally, brings also inspiration. Give us cases from other organizations that they've been implementing anti-discrimination programs in a sport context, quite successful. Most of them they are already working on. So I think it's also very important to get inspired and let's say copy to each other because we are here about to learn. And we have very interesting cases to put our attention reflected in the manual. So this is the idea, a mix of facts, action, and inspiration. About the journey of using the manual, the toolkit. Definitely, I will encourage to anyone who is interested, why not, even to print the manual, to put it in paper, make your notes, use it, read it, because finally the extension is neither very long. I really encourage the people really to take time and read the manuals. It's something very interesting. Not only by saying that the organization, we have put a lot of effort in it. No, but it's, let's say, a mix of information, of action, on practical information that at the end is really useful. So I will encourage the people really to learn, print, make notes, and definitely use it. The extension is not very long. It's 46 pages. It contains graphic, photograph, and attractive layout. So I think it's nice to be used. This is an overall perspective of the contents. First of all, the facts. Let's say some more theoretical information. It has a manifesto. Why this toolkit? The facts of discrimination and fundamental rights, and the different forms of discrimination that our colleagues David and Marco has previously introduced, and also basically highlighted the discrimination in the sport context. And then we can pass to a second block or a second chapter that is about interventional framework, understanding the target, which is definitely one of the most important things. Then this is, let's say, a unique contribution of this manual, a pathway, a clear pathway to report and monitor a case, and the importance of reporting for sure. And then we go to the best practices to get inspired by other organizations and the importance of partnerships. Also very practical instructions for those interested to implement a partnership, how to make it successful, relevant, and so on. Finally, it has some extra information about the glossary, references, and annexes. Then, more specific, our colleague Agnes from Drasey will introduce us to understanding the target, so I won't get very long on this, but this manual helps very much to the people to connect to the victims by empathy, connection, and dialogue. And the pathway to report and monitor a case. let's say for many people, they really are not conscious about what is discrimination, an act of discrimination or an aggression. So the first thing this manual brings out is to identify the case. This low in intensity cases, like jokes that the aggressor, they don't think it's an act of discrimination or an aggression, but and some other people don't have a clear idea what it is or what is not. So it brings the manual, the toolkit, an introduction, a very interesting description of what is considered an aggression. And then about the importance of report by networking, and then awareness campaigns or monitoring case. This is the pathway to report a monitoring case. I think it has also the manual, very interesting templates, some very practical explanations on how to do the whole process, right? In a general perspective, because it's for sure each country will have its own particular, let's say, steps to do the monitoring report in a case. But this is a very interesting general perspective that can be used, let's say, by any of the person or the organizations. Going to the inspirational cases are real, are relevant, and diverse by any type of discrimination. As we mentioned in the beginning, by gender, race, sexual orientation, programs that have been implemented by other organizations, they are being successful. They are working on still. About the partnerships, the same, how to prepare and carry out risk to failure partnership, the importance of teamwork. And finally, I would say this is, let's say, a general description of the toolkit, and I would encourage everyone here, and even to spread the word to download this toolkit, take a look, and enjoy reading it, and finally using it. Thank you very much.